Hey, this is Mallory Johnson, and you're listening to Music Row.
Welcome to Music Row, a backstage pass to your favorite country artists. Here's your host, Leake.
Welcome back to the show. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the likes. The numbers are going up. I think we're like top 5 in a bunch of charts now, too, which is really exciting. Hopefully, we can keep it all going. My name is Leake. This is Music Row. Our guest on today's program, Mallory Johnson. She just released a new album called Over the Party. We'll get into that, and there's some real cool tracks on this album, so it's worth you investigating after you hear the interview at first, okay? Listen to the interview, then go check out the album, and then go, oh yeah, that Leake. He knew what was going on. Told it to me straight again. Some news, Darius Rucker just had to cancel his show in Atlantic City for the first time ever due to losing his voice. Crazy thing is, he lost it after like 4 songs into his set. All of a sudden, it just, and he was done. Good news is, full refunds for everybody who was going to the show, and he'll be rebooking again. I think the casino wins on this, though, too, because they've got already everybody in the house, so they're just gonna hang out and enjoy the casino life, I guess, the rest of the evening without Darius. Anyways, more dates coming with Darius as soon as the voice catches back up. Country Thunder in Saskatchewan, Craven, Saskatchewan to be exact, wrapped up over the weekend. It had everything going on. Big time headliners, in addition to all the weather. Extreme heat, a bunch of rain, and then air quality advisory due to all of the forest fires in the region blowing smoke everywhere. So a lot of things going on. Police say that they had 156 police callouts. Didn't look like anything was too major, just your regular people being weird after a few drinks. Your headliners for this thing were Bailey Zimmerman, Jason Aldean, and Def Leppard was also part of it. Looks like a good one. It's a big one. They've been doing it for like 40 years, so I think they know what they're doing.
Wherever there's a heartbeat and a stage, there's an artist set to perform. This is Music Row on Tour.
Brought to you by Pecan Agency, connecting the bands with fans worldwide. We just talked about Aldean and Bailey Zimmerman. They continue on touring, not together, but touring throughout August. You can catch Bailey Zimmerman on August 14th in Guilford, New Hampshire. Jason Aldean is going to be live August 14th in Dallas, the 15th in Houston, and 16th in Austin, Texas. Go to Austin, Texas. Say hi to my friends out there. I like that. Coming up on Music Row, Mallory Johnson.
Hi, my name is Kim Stockwood. I am a proud Newfoundlander and a Canadian singer-songwriter. In a landscape where many lack access to health benefits or employee assistance programs, the Unison Fund serves as a lifeline of hope for musicians and music industry professionals facing medical emergencies or mental health challenges. To learn more about Unison and their programs, please visit unisonfund.ca.
Hey, this is Mallory Johnson, and you're listening to Music Row with Leake.
Mallory Johnson, hi. Nice to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
It's been like 1.5 years. You just released an album. That's damn exciting.
It is. And I feel like, now what? You build up something for a couple of years and you're kind of holding on to it so tightly, and then it's out there to be judged and embraced and celebrated or booed. Who knows?
I always marvel at artists when they do release an album because they have the patience to hang on to it. They have the patience to write the song, then the patience to record the song, remix the song, get the album artwork, blah, 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 blah. It just goes on and on and on. That would drive most people crazy if they knew it's like a year-long process.
Oh, more than that. More, especially when you're a perfectionist.
Oh, so you take your time.
I don't like to take my time, but 2.5, 3 years later, I guess I did take my time because I liked everything to be a certain way, and God love the teammates that are on board with me and want to see my vision come to fruition. So, it's a labor of love. And like I said, you hold on to those things so tight, and then now it's like, here it is. I hope you like it.
You've been an artist, just let's say as an overall, your entire life.
Yeah.
Grew up with the family band. So there was no explaining to anybody later on in life that you were going to be your solo artist and move up. When you said to your family, you said, I'm going to be a musician. They didn't hear, did you mean physician? They knew exactly what
they would have liked it if I said physician, but no, they weren't surprised.
But they were ready. Like they knew that this was going to happen for you. And you had all that experience growing up as a kid in small town Newfoundland, or I guess all towns.
I mean, sort of, I guess. My mom's side of the family is from the West Coast in this small town called Cadre Valley. My dad's originally from Bonavista, Little Catalina area, which is closer to the East Coast. But I grew up in Conception Bay South, which is just outside of St. John's. So it was a town, but kind of the city at the same time. So I didn't really have a thick accent based on where I was, because there's a towny accent and a bay accent, but I'm kind of in the middle because I'm so close to both. So
I was thinking of that actually just the other day, how you do not have that Newfoundland accent. I have a buddy of mine who I'll get into conversations with him. I'm like, I don't understand a word you're saying right now. And he's been living in Toronto for 30 years.
Yeah. I mean, I can put it on if I have a little too much to drink or if I'm on the phone with an aunt or something.
Right. Because they need to understand you now.
Yes.
You need to speak Newfoundlandese to them so they know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
How did the band with your family happen? Like your mom and dad were already out doing it, and then all of a sudden you came along. So you joined the band?
Actually, my mom was touring years ago. She tours a country artist as well. So she was touring with this guy named Reg. And so it was Loretta and Reg. And they did records in Nashville. Actually, I think Randall Prescott produced a project. Actually, I think Randall produced a project my mom did with my Uncle Gordon. And so eventually the family band became my mom, my uncle, and me and my cousin. So I grew up listening to my mom sing country music for years and years and years. My first time on stage was during one of her country shows, and I got up at 3 years old and sang a Barney song at a festival.
Oh my gosh.
So I was hooked. Like, you couldn't get me off the stage at that point. So it was singing lessons, dance lessons, musical theater, anything I could do to be on a stage. And then we did the Celtic thing. So being from Newfoundland, Celtic traditional music is kind of like, that's the thing, right? I mean, there's all genres there, don't get me wrong, but that's kind of the heartbeat.
There's all genres in Newfoundland, and there's all instruments. It's like, what do you play? I play the ukulele. I play the banjo. I play the door, the oven door, and the washing machine door.
Yeah, the spoons, the bagpipes, you name it. Step dance, let's just step dance. Yeah.
Whoever has a thing that says instrument on it, someone's got to play it, and it's in this band now.
Well, and if you don't know how to play it, you figure it out. That was just kind of the way it is. You sit around the kitchen at Christmas time with the whole family, and everyone's just jamming and picking up something random. And
why do they have in Newfoundland where everyone says that they have kitchen parties and all that stuff? Why don't they just build homes that are called kitchens?
They should.
Like, never mind the bedroom, never mind the living room.
Yeah.
Just, you are the kings and queens of open floor concept.
Well, I was going to say, maybe we're the ones who started the open concept because everyone just wants to be in the kitchen. Yeah.
So everyone's playing and it's just around you all the time. And then the Celtic thing takes off and you're touring with that, right?
So we're touring. So I was 11 years old when we kind of formulated that band. And so myself and my mom and my uncle, we all were lead vocalists within the band. So we each had our own solos on the records. My cousin was the drummer in the band. I played keyboards. My mom played acoustic guitar, and my Uncle Gordon played everything else he could get his hands on.
Was anybody in the band good, or they just came along with the gear?
No,
it's
they
like,
were great.
We needed a drummer. Okay, well, you're in.
Incredible, like all incredible. Like my Uncle Gordon, he'll like sit down and he'll play an accordion number, and then he'll go and he'll take the bagpipes out, and then he'll take out the mandolin, and then he'll play lead guitar. And so everyone was like just really great. So I feel like, I don't know if I was just like naive at the time, thinking like, oh, like everybody who's doing this thing is like this is what it's like. Everybody's that great, and like we just kind of like the blood harmony, for example. Like I never knew that blood harmony was a thing until trying to sing harmony with some other people who are really good also. But it's just a different thing. When it's your blood, it's kind of like you all sound the same, but it's just your voices sound split.
You've been doing it naturally all your life.
Yeah, and that's how I learned. Like that's how I learned singing harmony. It's doing that family band thing. That's how I learned to be on the road and just working really hard, like lugging gear at like 13 and 14 years old, driving across the country, doing shows and like going on big stages. And now I feel like even back then, like I didn't even have the same nerves that I do now. Like if you put me on some of the same stages that I played as a 14-year-old, which I have, but like now I'm just like, okay, like what am I doing? Like it's just, yeah, when you do it as a kid, it's kind of you're thrown into it and it's like it's all you know. And then I was addicted to it. So I was like, okay, I want to do this for the rest of my life, regardless of like what genre I kind of chase or what that looks like. And the country music lane just kind of fell into my lap naturally because that's the music I grew up on, and it's storytelling is the backbone to country music, and that's very much what folk Celtic music is as well. So it was a natural transition, and yeah, it's just been a fun ride to kind of explore that. So
Over the Party, you say about, storytelling and naturally doing it. There's some pretty heavy lyrics on Over the Party.
yeah.
Definitely more of a folk sound than I would say. Genres are changing like crazy all the time. If you say you're country, then I guess you are. It doesn't matter how many turntables you have in your band now.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is considered country music these days.
Over the Party, is it more about just relationships overall, or is it just like, man, these people got to get out of the house? Is it really that direct? And I'm just tired of these people being here.
So the song itself, I'm glad you brought that up, because Over the Party, I guess in a literal sense, it's kind of like wanting to kick out the opinions that shouldn't matter so much, I guess. But for me, it's a metaphor for imposter syndrome. So all the party guests in that song that you're wanting to kick out is the self-doubt and all the bad stuff you say to yourself. So that for me, that was kind of like a liberating song in that sense. It's like, no, like I'm good enough to do this. Like, why am I putting myself down? I'm going to kick those people out of the party. I didn't want them here anyway. So
you really do write your music and kind of reflect on your life. It's your sound. It's natural.
Yeah, it's natural, but it's also, and I think a lot of songwriters and artists feel this way too, that you write a song in a certain period of your life or certain chapter or era, whatever, and you think you relate to it then, but then like fast forward or in reflection, it's like the song takes on a whole new meaning all over again. Like there's songs on this project I just put out with Over the Party that I wrote a couple years ago, but I now relate to them more in a different way, or they remind me of somebody different than they did when I wrote the song. So it's really cool to see that evolution and kind of see the song take a new life and a new meaning, even to me writing it. So like, it's also cool to see other people's interpretations of it. And yeah, so it's been fun in the creative sense. And yeah.
Are you mindful when you write these songs that you want to be writing lyrics that are kind of timeless?
Yeah.
So you're no longer referencing, Trudeau, the prime minister, when hasn't been the prime minister for a while and things like that. Do you think about that?
You definitely, it's definitely something I try to be conscious about. I mean, you're going to reference some things like, whether it's like technology related things or just like, I don't know. I try to be conscious of that where it doesn't date me, or it doesn't like you said, it still stays relevant
right
through a decade or more. But yeah, that's a good point. But then I also feel like the more detailed you are in a song and the more personal you make it, sometimes that resonates better with an audience and they kind of insert themselves in that story a little better, whether they relate to the specific details, but like they might have different details, but still feels the same. So
like the song Fuck That.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's definitely you. That is relatable.
Yeah.
For a lot of people. You reference saying, the I don't know, the younger version of me doesn't recognize me or something.
Yeah, that song kind of came about in a time that I just was feeling really sorry for myself. I'd gotten some hard no's on some things like we all do in the industry. I know the industry doesn't owe us anything. I know that at the end of the day, but it still doesn't mean it doesn't suck when you get kicked, when you're knocked down, So I was bummed out. And I happened to have a writing session with a really good friend of mine. His name is Brian Donkers. And he just kind of let me get it all out, vent about what was going on, both professionally and personally. I was going through some personal stuff, some health stuff too. And it just kind of was all coming together. And I just was having a pity party.
So you listed off all these things that were pissing you off. I didn't get this deal. I didn't get paid to play that party. I'm breaking up with whatever the face is, and the burrito made my stomach hurt. And then it becomes a song, right?
And then it became a song, and it was just going to be this little piece of art, this little poem that I was going to keep to myself. I had a work tape of it, but loved it. But at this point, I mean, I have a potty mouth in person, but I never really had explicit content musically. Like all the songs I put out, I like to be tongue in cheek, but I didn't drop any F-bombs at that point. And when we were writing this song, Fuck That was just a placeholder at the time. I was like, I want something, the hook of the song, to give me that same angst and that same power as just saying, oh, like, fuck it, like that kind of vibe.
Sure.
And
when things are breaking and the sound that comes before things break, fuck it, and then crash.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Whatever goes through the window.
Yeah. So like that was a placeholder, and everything we tried to replace it with just sounded cheesy, or just like it just didn't have the same power. So I had this song and this work tape of it, and I loved it, but it definitely didn't suit anything I had released previously. But I sent the work tape to my mom and dad because they'll be brutally honest with me. If they like a song, I'm like, okay, it's good.
All right.
But like, so I can tell if a song is like,
because
okay.
you're lucky you get to do that, because most parents don't know what's good or bad because they don't have the musical background, and they would just say it's great because they love their kid and they have no idea that they're actually damaging their child by not giving them the
honest feedback,
the feedback that they need.
Yeah. So when I sent it to them, I was kind of nervous. I remember sending the work tape and I was like, sorry about the F-bomb, but let me know what you think about this. And so mom got back to me right away after she listened to it. And she said, wow, like I love it, but are you brave enough to sing it in public?
Wow.
Yeah. So I responded to her and I was like, for the right audience, I think.
What would be the wrong audience? I guess, the children's fair might not be the right.
The children's fair, or like at the time I was like, I don't know if I can sing this in front of a room full of industry people. Could.
Well, maybe the online numbers will say otherwise.
Maybe. So it was just
ask my buddy who wrote WAP.
There you go.
I mean, that song had some lyrics.
Yeah, it sure did. Then that took off. So I was nervous about it, but also really excited about the song. And the very first show I tested it, I was opening for Serena Ryder in Woody Point, Newfoundland, at the Songwriters Festival.
Okay.
And I told a little story, the introduction before I sang it, and sang the song, and it got a standing ovation.
Did you play it on piano or guitar?
No guitar, just me and my guitar.
All right. And is that how most of your songs are? Is just you and the guitar? Like, do you have a piano with you in Nashville and one in Newfoundland?
Yeah, so I do. I have a piano at my parents' house in Newfoundland, a keyboard in Nashville, and so sometimes with a longer set at my show, I'll like take out the keyboard and I'll play a couple songs on the piano because that's my first instrument originally.
Right.
So, but most times it's just me and a guitar. So yeah, so I sang that song. It went over really well, and then I started playing it at a few other shows, and it went really well. And so they were like, oh, maybe I should record this song. And I had already been in talks with Andrew Petroff, who produced Over the Party. And I was like, okay, I want to come in. I think I have 3 songs that I'm really excited about to start off. And Fuck That was one of them. And we decided to put the song out because we loved the production.
Did it kind of keep the same tone where it was, I mean, it's really soft and subtle and emotional.
Yeah. And
not a lot of instrumentation. And
no, I wanted the vocals and the lyrics to be the star of the show. And I've always kind of been that way. I've always been like lyrics forward more than anything else because I love the storytelling. So we were very careful with the production. I wanted a lot of space and I wanted a lot of dynamic and I wanted to be able to hear every little piece. I wanted to hear the different reverbs that he put on the vocal and things like that. And so we recorded that song, Suitcase, and The Circus, which are all on the project. And I remember going to Jess, my publicist, who's here, and Danny, my manager, and we're like, okay, what's going to be the first single of these 3? Like, what should we do? And we were all like, well, if you're going to make a bold record, come out with a bold move and do the most bold song on the project. So we released F That. And
I love how you go between F That and Fuck That.
Sorry, Fuck That. I'm just like so like trying to be like filtered.
I love it.
So we put out that song on May 3rd of 2024. Which happened to be, I was at the East Coast Music Awards in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island.
Is that the year that you won everything?
No, I wasn't even nominated that year.
Oh, those jerks.
Oh, right. No, that's okay. I won the previous year, so that's fine. No, I love them. They're great. But so I happened to have my export buyers showcase on the same day while I was there that this song came out. And so, of course, export buyer showcase, you have agents, managers, labels, talent buyers. It's all industry. So I was like, well, I really want to sing this song because I just put it out. And then also I was like, I should sing this song because what's the point in putting it out if I'm not going to be brave enough to sing it?
And you really like it. And yeah, you're right. You're brave enough.
Yeah.
Your mom said, are you going to be brave enough?
Yeah. And I'm like, these are the people that I got to sing it to. So I did and got a standing ovation in that room, which was wild.
Awesome.
And one of the talent buyers, promoters that were there, he had heard me play a bunch of times and we had been in talks about playing festival in St. John's. And so he was at the showcase and we went and had a drink at the bar after. And he looked at me and he was like, I'm going to do everything in my power to get you on stage this summer, opening for our biggest headliner we've had. And I played it last summer, opening for Shania. So
That's awesome.
So this little song called Fuck That got me on stage with Shania Twain, I think, in a sense.
Well, look, you could change the title of the song, and you could find a different lyric for, to replace Fuck That. I think the emotion is still there. The story is still there. And it fits in so perfectly with the album title of Over the Party. Just kind of like, I'm not only am I done with this, but there's also this and all that. And I guess the point of what I'm trying to say is never date Mallory Johnson, because you're about to be a song lyric. Right?
You know what? Taylor Swift capitalized on that. So,
well, according to her library, she's had a lot of dates.
Yeah.
Actually, according to TMZ, she's had a lot of dates too.
Yeah.
That's something else. How's Nashville been for you?
It's been so fun. I know it's a city that like can kind of make or break you, can either motivate you or want you to run away. But I love it. I feel like it's such a creative place to be. And I have a good crew of friends there that are super supportive, all kind of doing the same thing, even in different lanes, but we're all kind of chasing similar dreams. And it's just welcoming and supportive. And I feel like I've grown not just as an artist and a creative, but just as a person.
Isn't that good though? Like make or break. It's kind of like trying out for the school volleyball team or something, and you're either in or you're out, and then you have your answer.
Yeah,
you will not be playing this season with the team. Go back, practice, go do your things. I think that there's a lot of artists out there who are about at that breaking point, and then something happens that says, we're in the game for another 6 months. We're putting a transmission in the van. We're going back out on the road. And it maybe should have went to something else.
Yeah. And
I feel for them.
And it's a town too, where it's like, if you're not in it for the long haul, you don't belong there. That's why they call it a 10-year town. So you need the perseverance and just being diligent and just being present and building relationships and networking. Like that's the most important thing there.
Sure. It's a hustle.
There's so many people that are so close, but then they leave too soon. It's like you're there 5 years in, didn't work. I'm like, oh, should have stayed there a little longer. Might have worked out, but
yeah, it's you're one opportunity away, but you never know when that opportunity is going to come up.
And it's not a matter of if the right person's going to walk in the room. It's when, because the industry's there. I mean, it's like you have talented music everywhere. Like if it was just music alone, I would have stayed in Newfoundland. Like the culture there musically is just unbelievable. But in Nashville, it's like you walk down Music Row and there's all the labels and the publishing houses, and it's just giving yourself the opportunity. And I haven't regretted being there for a minute. I love it there.
Yeah, you have to be in the room. There's no question.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like being maybe an apprentice plumber. The first few years you're just kind of cutting pipe and hauling out garbage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you got to put the time in for it to have the reward for you.
Yeah.
When you're writing songs with people in Nashville, are you cognizant of like, hey, I just gave you a great idea. If I hear this on some other song later on, I need to get some store credit or something. Because I imagine there's got to be a lot of that where people are shouting out ideas and it turns into a song. I said it to somebody who writes a lot of big songs. Like, I think he's probably got about 10 or 15 number one songs on the country chart. And I made a comment one night and he goes, that is awesome. I'm going to put that in a song. A year, maybe 2 years later, I run into him. I'm like, hey, did you ever put that into a song? He goes, his face just went white and he kind of looked at me. He's like, why? What'd you hear? And I'm like, dude, we were out drinking. I just said, this comment and you said you're going to put it in a song. He told me he gets sued so much.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Because people say that I had that idea first and I said it. And
the thing, it happens to everybody. Like I've had some of my closest friends do that without even realizing. I think more often than not, people just kind of subconsciously you go into a writing session, you're kind of throwing out all these random ideas. And then whatever idea people gravitate towards, that's what you take and run with. But meanwhile, you had listed off all these other ideas.
Sure, there's a whiteboard of all kinds of things for everybody else.
Yeah, so that kind of gets tucked away, I think, subconsciously. I think a lot of times people don't intentionally steal ideas. So they might have think they came up with this idea and go into another writing room months later and be like, oh, I had this really cool idea for a song. And that just so happened to be something that you had suggested a couple months earlier. Or I think just inspiration is just kind of floating around. The ideas are there and whoever grabs it first and runs with it. I mean, it's it's so hard because every song's been written. It's just trying to find a different way to do it.
Sure. And there's only so many notes.
Yeah.
As much as, most people don't know 3 of the notes, but there's only so many and there's only so many patterns. But I guess it's the expression on the stage that makes the difference. And thankfully you've got all the reps that help you out. So what's it like now? Do you go like for 6 months at a time to Nashville, or?
I'm technically there full time. Yeah, I have a place there. I mean,
sweet.
I don't let anybody miss me in Newfoundland. I'm home so often, but kind of keep a foot in both places.
And also because it's such a big family, one person's going to say something to another, and then there's a revolt, and they come and they just drag you home.
Exactly.
But so, I think the reason why I bring it up is because when you're in Newfoundland, everything is such a gigantic pilgrimage. Once you start heading west on the highway, and then manage to get across the ocean, you got to keep going.
It's the adventure. Yeah, it's quite the adventure.
So you talk about committing yourself.
Yeah.
I think the one thing about Newfoundlanders is that if you're going to do a career out of it, you're kind of committed just by that first ferry ride.
Oh no, 100%. Like that's why it's so difficult to get artists to come to Newfoundland on their tour. When they say they're doing cross Canada tour and they don't have a Newfoundland date, I'm like, technically not cross Canada. You didn't come all the way here.
Definitely carved out of the map. No, doesn't exist on the map I have.
Flights are easy. And I mean, the ferry is a pain in the butt because you got to go like all the way to the West Coast. If you're coming to St. John's, it's like an 8-9 hour drive from there. But it's beautiful and it's worth seeing. And there's so many beautiful little theaters throughout the province. It's easy to do a tour just in the province itself. So
Tourism Newfoundland with your host, Mallory Johnson.
There you go.
Anybody who wants a gig, just show up there one day, and as she said, it's only like an 8-hour drive.
I mean, it's spots along the way. You could stop along the way. Also, let me be your opening act. Okay, thanks.
Opening act? You kidding? You're hosting this entire tour. It's all on you.
I mean, it depends on who the artist is and brings in. I'll happily be an opening act.
We can make this happen.
There you go.
You know somebody over there. You can do it. What's the rest of summer like for you?
Honestly, just kind of promoting the record. I'm standing in a couple weddings, so that's fun. Lots of family time.
So popular.
You know what? I have a lot of bridesmaids dresses in my closet. I'm definitely like always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
All right. I hope they're at least saying like, hey, what color was the last wedding? Can we stick with the same theme?
No, it's always different. I have a few dusty rose, but the one that's coming up is like a champagne color. The one that was like a while back was black. So
thank God
they're all over the place.
At least the black one can be maybe reused.
Maybe, but they're all like chiffon bridesmaids dresses. So no,
it's such a racket.
Yeah,
it's the guys definitely win on that one.
Yeah,
where it's like, I got a tuxedo. I rented it, and I'll rent the exact same color and the exact same for the whatever event I have coming up.
Yeah,
whether I'm playing, if I'm going to Monte Carlo for a James Bond movie, or I'm going to be standing in someone's wedding, it's the same thing.
The same thing.
The bridesmaids, they just screw each other over nonstop.
No, and it's like sometimes you get a color that looks real good on you, and then other times not so much. But you just gotta grin and bear it.
It's the team game.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, congratulations on the new release.
Thank you.
And I hope the weddings that you're standing in for go great. I hope you're not playing for free. Are you playing?
I'm not playing at either. The two coming up.
So somebody listened to your album and said, hey.
No. Like
Mallory's going to want money.
So they're not hiring me. No, it's fine. No, I honestly really appreciate it. Weddings are the hardest gigs because they're like the most pressure. And so it's nice to be like, okay, you're making me a bridesmaid and now I don't have to sing. So it's nice.
Why is that the hardest gig? Why do you say that?
Because it's someone's most important day of their life and you want to be perfect for them. And if they're walking down the aisle to their future spouse and you mess up the song, it's on their wedding video forever.
This is basically teenage you looking at you, who you've become, and like, wow, you're overthinking this.
Oh, definitely overthinking it. But I know it's the similar kind of like my brother's a videographer, so he's done some videos of weddings as well. He would say the same thing about his job. He was like, I need to get it first try. He was like, you can't have another moment of the groom crying his eyes out while the bride walks down the aisle. You need to get that the first time.
Because he's so upset.
It's a lot of pressure.
He's so upset it's happening.
No, happy tears, hopefully.
What's your favorite social that we should throw people to?
I'm a big Instagram fan, but we should throw them to TikTok because my TikTok numbers suck.
Come on now.
It'd be really great. It'd be really great if people could make me an influencer. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, okay. And what's your TikTok?
Mal Johnson Music. And same thing with Instagram. So it's easy to find both at the same time.
Right on. Well, have a great summer.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this.
Thank you so much for having me.
Follow Music Row on X at Music Row Country, on Instagram at Music Row Official. Music Row is produced by Shed of Dreams.